Illinois legislators advancing a measure that would bring about the option of having single-use restrooms to be gender-neutral restrooms. And it's a measure that's found some opposition. We'll hear some of the debate in a Senate committee from yesterday as this bill moves forward. The bill already passed the House, but the Senate is amending the bill. And Justin Sia, he's a student at a university who helped craft this legislation. He was in the Senate committee yesterday talking about the bill and why he sees it as necessary. Here's that debate.
We heard directly from transgender and gender non-binary folks who are insulted and even attacked in male or female restrooms simply for who they are or for how they look. We also learned about parents and guardians with young children of a different gender who must decide whether to leave their children unattended in public restrooms or to enter a restroom that doesn't match their gender. We heard from caregivers who accompany older adults into the restroom. All of these groups and others would benefit from more gender-inclusive restrooms in our state. This bill would permit, not mandate, private and public entities to install gender-inclusive restrooms. If a business chooses to do so, this bill requires floor-to-ceiling stalls with locks and privacy strips to ensure a safe and private experience. The bill also removes any urinals and also requires baby changing stations and other amenities to best serve the needs of all users. Ultimately, this bill keeps families together, allows businesses to serve their customers and workers, and makes Illinois safer and more inclusive for all of its residents and visitors. Thank you for your attention, and I respectfully ask for your support of HB 1286.
So HB 1286 is the measure, and you heard it there. It would essentially allow for establishments to have gender-neutral bathrooms. If, it's a single-use bathroom or the only restroom they have, and maybe it's a multi-stall bathroom, it would require floor-to-ceiling partitions, and also would remove urinals. And that was a question that was asked. I believe this is State Senator Neil Anderson raising the question of, what are you doing? You're getting rid of urinals?
We heard directly from...
And here's that back and forth.
Can you explain why there's no urinals?
So we took into consideration the concerns of several members who voiced that concern in terms of, again, people who walk into a restroom and might be offended by a urinal. So what we were trying to do is to make sure that we address the concerns. And again, urinal is just as good as a toilet.
Are they going to be offended if I leave the toilet seat up?
I mean, I might be offended.
So a little bit of levity there, but I don't know if, toilets and urinals are equivalent. Urinals can't flush certain things that toilets can flush. And, urinals as well, especially for men, if there's multiple urinals, you get in and out quicker. And it's not something that you're going to find in a women's bathroom. So interesting to hear that some people are offended by urinals. I've never heard that before. I've never heard that as a concern before. State Senator Jill Tracy, she had some questions about this ongoing issue of, are they going to get rid of urinals?
Senator, these are really great questions, but again, we were trying to address members' concerns. And again, urinals for some people might be as great as a toilet. We're just trying to make sure that, people have access to restrooms.
Sure, and that's a very important thing. And I've raised 4 boys, and it's going to be messy.
I don't disagree with you on that.
Okay. Well, I mean, I see it as a sanitary issue. This question is
so obviously, some questions here about this measure, and opposition was also on hand at the Illinois Statehouse yesterday to raise concerns. Here's one of those individuals.
Thank you. My name is David Curtin, and I'm representing Illinois Family Institute in opposition to House Bill 1286.
And he continues.
The House Bill 1286 legalizes all gender multiple occupancy restrooms in Illinois. They are currently illegal. This would allow them in stadiums, sports or entertainment arenas, community or convention centers, amusement facilities, or other similar places of public accommodation. We believe this legislation is misguided for many reasons, but I'd just like to focus on one. Unfortunately, this legislation presents a real danger to Illinois citizens. What we are doing, unfortunately, is creating a perfect environment for physical harm and lifetime psychological trauma to occur upon those who are least able to defend themselves. If a 16-year-old girl goes into an all-gender multiple occupancy restroom and a man there has harm on his mind, it is unsafe to say the least for the girl if they are the only ones in the restroom. Moreover, it's no exaggeration to say these restrooms will be specifically targeted by those who have these motives. They'll know the hours to wait in these restrooms when there's low traffic. They'll know which restrooms to frequent. They will know the ones with low risk of getting caught. If one wanted to increase the risk of rapes and other horrible crimes on women, they could not do better than passing this legislation.
Coming back, we'll hear more of this opposition and the response to the opposition of this measure about gender-neutral bathrooms as an option. It's not a mandate, it's an option. But still, the option being opposed by some at the Illinois Statehouse. Stay tuned. We'll get to that coming up here on WMAY. I'm Greg Bishop. You can always like, subscribe, follow. Just search Bishop on Air, and we can connect that way. Bishop on Air across all social media platforms, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. So connect with us, and we can continue conversating even off air. So stay tuned. More coming up on this issue of gender-neutral bathrooms. But obviously, let's get your phone calls in reaction at 217-629-7970. Good morning. You are on WMAY. What's up?
Yes, hello, Greg. Sean Gotti here. So on the issue of the bathrooms, hope we're still talking about that because I'm a little behind on the stream. But down here in North Carolina, I had actually ran into one of these situations, a single-use bathroom. They had a women-only bathroom, but the men's had been converted to a gender-neutral bathroom, which I thought was kind of odd. If we're going to do one, we should probably do the other. But single-use bathrooms, whatever. Okay. Multiple people in one bathroom? Can't see that.
Well, it's gonna be interesting to see how this ultimately does play out in the real world and what kinds of problems are going to arise from all of this. 217-629-7970. Let's get your phone calls. Good morning. You're on the air.
Yeah, I just I just want to say the other day I sent you all an email on there was an incident in 1946 in which a stolen election caused a 6-hour gun battle and a use of dynamite at a police station in Athens, McMinn County, Tennessee, August 1st and 2nd, 1946, and it involved many veterans of World War II that had just ended. And there's a movie about it on YouTube made by Hallmark in 1992 titled An American Story, and there's been 3 books written on this incident since 1987.
I appreciate you calling in, but that's not what we're talking about right now. Feel free to email me again with those details, bishoponair@gmail.com. One last call here before the break, and we'll get back to more of the debates in the Senate committee about gender-neutral bathrooms. Good morning. You're on WMAY.
Hey, Greg. As a father of daughters, a grandfather of granddaughters, I don't want a gender-neutral bathroom. I don't care if it's just gender-neutral or not. I want men and women's bathrooms. And whatever you define yourself as and you are legally, then okay. But until you're 18, you're either a boy or a girl. That's your 2 choices. Use the right bathroom. My thoughts.
Well, I appreciate that, and we'll hear more of the debate back and forth on this issue coming up next here on WMAY.
Senator Anderson.
Can you explain why there's no urinals?
So we took into consideration the concerns of several members who voiced that concern in terms of, again, people who walk into a restroom and might be offended by a urinal. So what we were trying to do was to make sure that we address the concerns, and urinal is just as good as a toilet.
I don't know about that, but obviously it's something that is being debated at the Illinois Statehouse, and we'll hear more of that debate now. And, of course, you can chime in at 217-629-7970. The Illinois Family Institute was there opposing this, their representative laying out why they don't like this idea. Here's more of his comments from yesterday's Senate committee.
At the very least, women tell us this will cause extreme anxiety and stress on females who look to the restrooms as a safe place. Those who say, well, just don't go into the all-gender restrooms, when you have to go to the restroom, you have to go. California just passed this law late last year, and so it's not been tested yet to give you any data. They argued it was merely to allow a father to accompany his young daughter into a restroom or a transgender person to feel more comfortable. These situations can be easily remedied by installing a single-use gender-neutral restroom. They're permissible right now and very safe. We do have a little data for you, though. In places such as Target that have instituted unisex dressing rooms, there have been women who have been victimized, and I have a 4-page copy for each of you on the committee of criminal incidents by men caught photographing, videotaping, or assaulting women.
He goes on to just list a whole host of other concerns, but State Senator Christina Castro fired back and said that he's blowing on dog whistles here.
Just say I'm a little flabbergasted about the dog whistle we're hearing here. I was recently in Puerto Rico, and they have a multi-gender bathroom set and forth with how it's amended here. Sealed stalls used by men and women in front of an open space, very open. To sit here and make an accusation that this is going to create harm without, again, this is permissive. Remember the key word, permissive.
Well, if I may...
I'm talking.
Okay.
It's just a dog whistle, and it's inappropriate.
And she then turned it over to the bill's sponsor, State Senator Selena Villanueva, who responded to some of these concerns.
Additionally, nothing actually stops a man from entering a women's restroom right now in law. Again, and nothing stops men from entering dressing rooms right now. And a lot of stores have dressing room areas in general for people to use. Additionally, we have ICASA case, the Illinois Coalition Against Domestic Violence, who are all supporters of this bill.
So this measure obviously advancing, and the Illinois Senate amending it slightly. Senate President Don Harmon, he chimed in with his pushback on those who have concerns about this bill.
And we can fight over people lurking in them, or whether we should have a urinal or a toilet, but this is no different than a single-use bathroom. And if you have a hard time washing your hands in front of someone of the other gender, we have other problems to solve. So thank you for your work on this, Senator, and appreciate you bringing back an even better bill.
So the measure, again, would allow for gender-neutral bathrooms to be installed, and it would remove urinals in such gender-neutral bathrooms because urinals apparently are offensive to some people. Good morning. You're on WMAY. Your thoughts?
Morning, buddy. Hey, I think this is absolutely preposterous, to be quite honest with you. We need to be figuring out how to deal with cold fusion, not how to use the bathroom. We need to figure out how to make sure that the planet goes green on solar energy, not, if I'm offended by if I see a urinal or not. We all know how to use the bathroom. Pick the right one. If you have a hangy-fangy, you go to the men's. If you don't, you go to the women's. If I am an EMT and I am trying to go to a medical emergency with a male, a person with a hangy-fangy, and they're telling me that they're having a miscarriage, I'm not going to treat them as such because it is scientifically, and this is what the left has always been about, we have to follow the science. Scientifically, that is not possible, and nor should I treat him as such.
Well, I appreciate the call. We'll hear a lot more about this as it advances through the legislature and lands on the governor's desk. And coming up next, we'll talk with State Representative Adam Niemerg about this, guns, the budget, and more. Stay tuned. It's here on WMAY.